Because there are constantly new AI tools coming to the market, new updates being released, and AI models that outperform each other, it can be overwhelming to choose the right AI tools for your project. And that's why I want to help you navigate the space by showing the AI tools that are currently worth it for you as a designer. So you can pick the right tool for your next project and focus on creating new things. My name is Ruben Stolm and I create content around AI and design. And if that's something that you're interested in, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. There are many different AI image generation models out there, but the two that I recommend are Midjourney and Nano Banana Pro, and here's why. Midjourney is known for being the creative image model, which is the better option for more artistic work. And Midjourney is beginner friendly and really lowers the barrier for creating artistic looking images, as you can insert a simple prompt and already get beautiful results. Also, the interface is pleasant to work with and beginner friendly. So still, the prompt is important to get right, but the interface allows you to easily upscale, regenerate, and select the ratio, for example. There is a disadvantage when using Midjourney though. The results often tend to look like AI-generated content, and whether this is a deal breaker depends on how you intend to use it. And there are many social media accounts that are very popular and clearly show AI-generated artwork, so not in all cases does it matter that it looks AI-generated, but for many it will probably be considered a disadvantage. And the lack of photorealism is mainly due to some recurring issues, with the model having difficulties with generating realistic hands, teeth, skin texture and hair. And that can be very annoying at times and often makes your outputted image just not usable as is. And then there's Nano Banana Pro, a Gemini-powered model that is so photorealistic that it is almost indistinguishable from real photos. And you can use it to create real professional photos that are production ready. So the biggest advantage to me as a designer, and the main reason why I primarily use Nano Banana Pro, is because of its consistency. And I can now create entire photo shoots while consistently using a similar product, a single model, or a specific environment. Another thing worth mentioning is that Nano Banana Pro is great at outputting text, and that combined with the fact that it is a part of Google's Gemini ecosystem means that you can create images with real-time data and information. So for example, an image with text about today's weather in New York or the current Bitcoin price is easily achieved with Nano Banana Pro. And I personally like to have better control over the text formatting and the placement, but I can definitely see it being useful in some cases. So the downside of Nano Banana Pro is that the results may not be as interesting to look at right off the bat, so you have to really learn how to prompt to get the results that you're looking for. But the upside is that you as a designer have a lot more control. I use Adobe's AI functions every day. I use it in my videos to extend the background music, for example, but I extensively use the AI features in Adobe Photoshop. And this really changed my way of designing. So where I used to adjust the design to the images, I can now design more freely, as I can adjust the images to my designs. And with tools like Generative Fill and Generative Expand, I can alter the things that I don't like and adjust the size and ratio. And this may not sound as a big deal, but they are actually both such powerful tools to have in my toolkit, especially now that you aren't forced to select Adobe's own AI model, Firefly, but can now select Nano Banana Pro to make even more realistic adjustments. And you could directly adjust your design work and images with Nano Banana Pro in the Gemini chat, but I often prefer using it in Photoshop, as I can make very precise adjustments by selecting a specific part of my design. So Nano Banana Pro for most image generations, and Photoshop's AI features for precise adjustments and changing the ratio. So I use Topaz Labs for upscaling both images and videos, and now that Nano Banana Pro outputs 4K resolution images, I don't use it as often anymore, but if I do, I use Topaz Labs directly inside the Higgsfield web app. And if I'm working on a project directly in Photoshop, then I mostly use their image upscaler. It is just because it is more convenient when I'm already using their software. But for the most accurate detail preservation in your images, I choose Topaz Labs. For generating videos, I have the best experience with Gemini's Veo 3.1, and it currently outputs the most realistic videos. But the biggest downside is the outrageous cost for generating a single video, and since it is so expensive, I use Kling 2.6 as a fallback option, and most of the time I don't need any sound for my videos anyway, because I use it for websites or I add a music track, and with Kling you have the option to turn off the sound, and doing this makes it about 6 times cheaper than VO 3.1. And Kling is less realistic and outputs more unwanted artifacts than VO 3.1, but it is nonetheless a very capable model, especially for their pricing. We're using Kling, VO 3.1, Topaz Labs, and most of my image generations I use the Higgsfield website. And this is an aggregator site that offers a lot of AI-powered tools for you to try on their own platform. And it isn't a cheap tool by any means, but buying the tool separately would be more expensive, at least that's the case for me. And this also allows me to stay up to date with the latest AI tools and experiment with different models for different scenarios as they provide the newest AI models. And if you're looking to implement AI into your design work on a more professional level, then a site such as Higgsfield can make all the difference. The generated images don't come with a visible watermark, which unfortunately is the case if you generate images and videos directly in the Gemini chat, for example. And you can work much more efficiently as you can use different tools in a single browser. So for example, you can generate an image and reference that image using different models but in the same window. And there are so many different AI aggregator sites out there, such as Artlist or Freepik, for example. But I personally have had a great experience with Higgsfield and I really love their interface. I mainly use ChatGPT as an LLM for things like brainstorming, prompt creation, researching and checking my work. And most LLMs out there are perfectly capable of doing these things, and some may be even better. So Perplexity, for example, may be the better option for research, but I just like using ChatGPT as it is fully integrated into my workflow. I use the desktop app, the mobile app, and I use API connections. I have so many different folders and GPTs that it just wouldn't be worth it for me to switch to a different LLM. It does everything I need and more. And I'm on a paid plan because I always ran into usage limits, but ChatGPT comes with a very generous free plan. Although Claude is the smartest model when it comes to coding, it has a bit of a learning curve if you want to build and deploy commercial apps. And that's where Gemini's web app creating tool called AI Studio comes to play. And I recommend AI Studio if you want to create a simple application for your own use. A tool that simplifies or automates something in your workflow. And with AI Studio you can create a full working tool with a single well-written prompt, and everything works directly in the browser, so there's no need for using a terminal, for example, like when you're developing locally in Cursor. And it is also very easy to set things up with Firebase, as these apps both live in Google's ecosystem. Raycast is a tool that is fully integrated into my workflow and not necessarily an AI tool by default. And I'm on a free plan and it is insane how many things you can do with it. And so many features that Apple should have added themselves. So it is basically a replacement for Apple Spotlight and allows you to do many different things like searching your computer and adding custom shortcuts. But it is in today's list because you can add your own API key and use AI to create commands with a single click of a button. For example, I use it to add new events to my calendar or quickly spell check something in my notes. And this app is just such a game changer and definitely worth a try. Whisperflow allows you to speak directly to your computer and it writes it out for you. And it is basically a dictation app on steroids, as it is powered by AI. And this is one of those tools similar to Raycast that once you're fully used to it, there's no way back. And they have a generous free plan and it is also available on mobile devices, and this is a real gem if you'd ask me. And as a designer, I mostly use it for prompting and to speed up my overall workflow, as typing simply takes longer. I don't recommend buying all tools at once, but these are the tools that I recommend when a need arises. And which tools you find worth paying for really depends on your situation, of course, but with today's video you now have everything that you need to know to build your own solid stack of AI tools. And the process of choosing which tools you need for what job isn't such an overwhelming process anymore. I leave links in the description to all tools that I mentioned in this video, and I'm not affiliated with any of them. These are just the tools that I honestly think are worth it. And I'm very curious to know if you think that there are any other interesting tools that are worth mentioning, and please leave a message in the comments so we can chat about it. And if you enjoyed this video, it would be much appreciated if you gave it a like and subscribe for more content about AI and design. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.